Hey, I know it's Thanksgiving Day, and I'm on YouTube making you all a video. You all should be proud of yourselves. That girl doesn't want our food right now. No, just kidding. I already ate, but I feel so special. Gotta love me, but what to do when everyone loves me? But what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna read you some of my fantasizing moments. You know, with my book. That I am writing, and hopefully I will put it on Wattpad or Quotas, but I probably will end up probably doing nothing with it, unless if y'all want like something like a copy. Alright, so I'm going to read you chapter 1, because that's all I'm going to read you right now, because it's kind of long, but not really, but not really. Hold up. Alright. It was different from any other night. It was not, oh, and by the way, It's All a Dream. Alright, here it goes. It was different from any other night. It was not blissful. It was not quiet. When you entered Ghost Field, then all you heard were screams. Not the screams that you were afraid of, the ones where you hear men shouting and throwing bottles at the walls at other men. You hear a girl scream in pain after being punched in the face for the first time. You hear the ear-piercing of baby scream. You don't see any of these things. You don't even know if they are real. You have no clue what's going on, especially when you were the new people in town, told to be living in the scariest house of them all. One's children won't go up to on Halloween and ask for candy. One where people give frightening looks to sorry family that have to live in the house. One that everyone was afraid to be around. One that was in the woods and people absolutely were terrified of even taking a glance at it. One where the myth always lives. No one saw it, but they had mythical people living beneath them. They had creatures surrounding them. They had spells trapping them. No one saw any of it, but it was a sterilized town. No one could leave, not even when you're dead. The new family started to come into the town, pulling into the drive of Witch's Manor. A teenage girl got out of the car and walked into the house to check it out for the first time. She walked into a beautiful scenery, the tiled floor with the beige tint to it, the white and simmered down salmon painted onto the walls. The big kitchen with someone in it. Finding out they had a newly stranded maid helped her out because she would have had to clean. This girl happened to be Candace Fitch. She was a preppy teen. For being in high school, she was mature and could only take care of her family with knowing that they would be okay. She walked around noticing she had multiple scare cases, but all the different parts of the house. So what made her think was the fact that on the outside, it's a one-story house. All the staircases leaded upstairs and didn't treat it as if it were an attic. Candace decided to go see what it led to. Alright, before I continue on, I gotta check something. Alright. She walked up the stairs, and as she got to the top, there was a painting of a room. She was confused. I know. She was confused. She touched the painting and she dropped her hand in her gaze when she was pushed into the wall by her older sister that didn't like her. But what was weird is that Candace was now in that room that she had seen in the picture. She watched as her sister tried to get in as well, but only felt the picture. She watched her sister throw herself into the picture, but um, still failed to get in. She looked around and noticed the woman in the closet hiding. Candace walked towards the closet slowly to see the woman. She was nice and would not hurt her. The woman came out and walked the rest of the way, and looked at Candace and embraced her with a hug. The woman looked at Candace and said, "I want to teach you how to work, darling." Candace did not know how to reply to the lady. "You don't know what you can do yet, do you, Candace?" the woman said, and it freaked out Candace. "How do you know my name?" Candace asked back. "Candace, you are a seeker, someone that could either take over the town and make it yours, or save it and let everyone out who are alive and the ones that are dead spiritually." "You're lying. You're making it all up. Now let me out," Candace Finch said. "Fine, by all means, child, but you will soon regret your decision," the lady said. She walked over to Candace and threw her out of the pictured room, and she tumbled down the stairs and landed on the floor. She ached in pain, and then she stood up. She sighed and started to walk outside to tell her dad what had just happened, and then she took another run through. She figured if she told her dad what had happened, he'd be looking for a crazy hospital to put her in. So she went and looked around the house to find a room she wanted, and ran and got her stuff and put it in the bedroom floor so her sister could not take the room she wanted. She ran to help and helped her dad get the mattress into a room she wanted and smiled. She started setting up her room the way she wanted it. As soon as she got her desk and stereo out, she started to put some music on and set her stereo on the desk and started to organize her room the way she needed to. She smiled at the way it turned out, and all she needed to do was unpack her makeup and clothes along with her bathroom supplies. She smiled huge when she had everything put away and made her bed. She pulled out a towel and some clothes and went to the bathroom and took a shower and took her stereo with her so she could jam out to music. Candace was truly happy. Her dad was happy, and so was her sister. Once she was done with her shower, she had gotten dried off and put her clothes and wrapped the towel around her and grabbed her dirty clothes. Went to the room and put them in the hamper. She smiled and was just happy that she finally had the carpet, that her room was spotless. She started to hang up her posters, and they filled her room from top to bottom. She was a huge fan of Screamo and One Direction. She has always had the dream of meeting them all one day, and she wanted to bad. She was excited that she had them as friends. Otherwise, Candace was very antisocial. She had no real friends. She was not shy nor nervous. She just did not like other people that much. She took the towel off her head and hung it up in the closet for another use. She blew dry her hair and straightened it and put on some makeup and a cute outfit because her father was taking them out for a nice dinner. What do you guys think so far? She smiled and was proud of what she was wearing. She walked out because they were waiting for her. They were amazed. They smiled and were ready to go out. She walked out the house and got into the car, as so did her family. They were all happy with what they were doing, and after half an hour of driving, her dad pulled up to one of the Candace's favorite restaurants also. She smiled and walked to the door, and her dad smiled and asked for a table for 3. The waitress smiled and sat them next to 6 nice gentlemen, and her dad started to talk to them. Sorry, words too close together. Candace was not paying attention. She was busy dreaming of One Direction and how she would kidnap them and never let them go. I'm sorry if you guys don't like One Direction. I really am a big fan. So I just, it happened. She smiled to herself and took a menu and found what she was going to order, and she looked up a little and looked back down to see what we wanted for a drink. She shot her head back up in shock. She was in shock that she was sitting with One Direction and their manager, Paul. She leaned to her dad and said, "Are you sure you want to eat here? It's so expensive. We can go to McDonald's or something," she said, wanting to leave before she fangirled. Sorry, my nose. "Honey, you deserve this meal," he said, but was cut off by Candace. "Well, we also need a roof over our heads." She laughed at him. She was ready to explode with screams. "Candace, I have a question. Do you only want to leave because you have a crush on this young man Harry Styles over here?" he said, raising his voice. Candace got up and walked outside and let tears fall from her eyes. She had lost all appetite and all respect for her dad that her dad had gained back. She was ready to explode. She did not trust him at all anymore. She was ready to puke, and she felt a tap on her shoulder. She stopped the tears as quick as she could and waited for the sun to set completely before she turned around. She was pulled down by an older man that was homeless, and she was getting asked if she possibly had money to spare. She looked around and saw a lot of homeless people, and she saw a pizza place open still, and she grabbed her money she was saving up, that she had a few grand of her pants pocket, and she told him to wait there. She went to the pizza place and bought 20 pizzas and asked for several plates. The pizza man were confused, but gave what she had ordered. She walked outside and was happy and went to the man, and she noticed One Direction watching what she was doing. She handed the man a plate and gave him a pizza box so she could feed him and his wife, and she smiled and gave them $10 for drinks. She did the same thing for all the homeless people she saw and gave them each $10 for drinks. They were so grateful of what she had just done and thought she was an angel from above. She smiled and walked by one and gave him about $100 because he had kids on the way, and told him to meet her there the next day so she could give him more stuff. He told her that of course he would, and the manager, Paul, came up to her and asked her why she would do that. She gave him a blank look and then replied with, "Well, some of my friends had been homeless once, and since I was saving up money to go to a One Direction concert, and I thought this was made more important, no one should have to be on the street homeless like this," she said with a smile. Candace was one of the girls that liked to help everyone out around her that she saw having troubles. She smiled and grabbed all her things and started to leave. When she noticed someone getting jumped, she walked over to the people around the poor man and punched the ones trying to jump him. Candace was upset. She had so much anger built up in her. She bursted into pure anger and was beating them all up. She was finally satisfied with what she had done and started to feel really bad. But she was still happy. She helped the one that was in the process of being jumped. "I am so sorry that you were in the process of being jumped. I am really sorry." The guy gave her a smile and gave her a hug against her will. "My savior is here. She is finally here. She will help us all live." Candace looked up at the guy confused, and she remembered earlier what the girl she had seen in the realistic picture had said. She gave him a domesticated look and frustration. She looked in dismay. She got all of her belongings and started to run. She had remembered the pattern of the roads so she could get home. She would be happier at home. She ran as fast as she could and forgot about her asthma. What do y'all think? She kept running for an hour and was finally home. She slowed down, uh, but not fast that way, so she could control her breathing. She smiled at finally feeling home. She felt the cold air hit her face, and she smiled in relief. The air conditioner felt good on her face. She was happy with what she was doing. She was happy she had helped all of those people. After she went and took another shower and got dressed and ready for bed, she heard a lot of people enter the house. She sighed and put on some cozy pants and a sports bra and a tank top and went to see who all was here. She saw one direction and she went towards the stairs, ran up and threw herself in the picture. "How you doing, cutie?" the lady said. "Huh?" Candace Finch said. "Well, you are obviously back in here." "What for?" the lady said. "All right, some random guy told me I was the town's savior." "What was that about?" Candace Finch said. "Darling, you are the witch we want, the seeker of all times," the lady said. "What is that?" Candace Finch said. "It is where you sit around and help people, something we all know you like to do," the lady said. "Really?" Candace sounded confused. "Yes, darling. You're the one everyone wishes to be. You can set us all free. Now I know there are multiple people out there in your houses looking for you, and someone you are possibly in love with. I need you to go down out there and promise you won't go into your room," the lady said. "Okay, ma'am, thank you for your help," Candace said. Candace stepped out of the picture onto the staircase and walked her way into the living room quietly and ran to the other staircase and threw herself into that picture. She looked around and saw a bunch of weird things. It was like a movie, like that movie, The Ring, except there's pretty people within the hidden world. She looked around and saw people were having fun and jumping into the well and flying back up. She saw a strange girl and looked at her. She had wings on her back. She was flying. She was amazing. She had long black hair. She smiled and giggled, holding a baby. Candace guessed she was a mother. Candace felt safe for once. She felt sad she had to go. Alright, guys. Thank you for watching. If you did, tell me what you think so far, and if you want the second chapter, let me know and I'll read it for you. Bye. Love you. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace, keys.